Hi, folks. Full disclosure, I am so frustrated with trying to record professional videos at home, fixing the lighting, making sure there's no horizontal lines that distract people in the background. And it really throws me off from just wanting to say my piece. So here I am in the car recording. It's raining outside. I am just going to pick up my boy from school, and I thought I'd just take a few minutes to share a few thoughts that are on my mind. So, one of the reasons why I'm taking this moment to record is that recently I ran a workshop and they needed an overhead projector because the sound system wasn't working very well. So, I have a great sound system on my projector. Thank you, my husband, IT, who helped me buy it. And when I pulled it out slipped a piece of paper. And that piece of paper was something that I very deliberately put in my suitcase many years ago to remind me of why I do the work I do. On the front cover is a beautiful smiling face of a young girl, about 15 years old, maybe 16, and it's an invitation to her funeral. So, this is the young lady who has been my catalyst for pushing forward, becoming really passionate about this work. So I'm just going to take a moment to tell you a little bit about that story. When I was working downtown, I worked with teenagers who were kind of on their last line before being sent to juvie, or they came from really difficult homes where they were unable to get the support they needed. And once they graduated from us, we hoped that they'd be able to live on their own, manage life, and sometimes they needed semi-independent living situations. And so she was one of the ones who got transferred into a semi-independent home. This home happened to be on the street behind where I lived. So one day I was walking down the sidewalk and she is walking towards me and she initiates contact and she says, "Oh, hey, Sheva." And I look up and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's okay." I'm like, "Oh, everything okay?" She's like, "It's the same old stuff. My dad, my life, crap." Except she used more colorful language. Um, and I said, "Oh, that doesn't sound so good." She's like, "No, but gotta go, got school, gotta push on." So, yeah. I said, "Okay, yeah, I gotta go to work too, but hey, maybe we could have coffee sometime and catch up. I'd love to see how you're doing and all that." And her face kind of brightened and she's like, "Yeah, that'd be nice. That sounds good." So off I went to work and off she went to school. And when I got to my workplace, I mentioned that I had bumped into this person, and I also mentioned my intention of connecting with her and having coffee with her. And for those of you who have worked in the field, you may know where this conversation is going. I was told that I may not meet one on one with her for approximately 3 years after she graduates from us. Liability, blah, blah, blah. So, um, I'm ashamed to say I have changed a lot since then, but at that time I was really eager to be a professional, to fit into the professional mold, to follow the rules. I'm new in the country, I'm starting off in this field, and I wanted to do well. And so I was a rule follower, and so I followed the rule. And I did not follow up on the coffee with this young lady. A lot of time passed. I ended up getting pregnant, leaving work, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was about a year or so later that I got that invitation to her funeral. Turns out she ended her life by suicide at that really young age. So now, today, when I look back on that story, it's easy for me to carry a lot of guilt and would have, should haves. But the reality is that you don't know what you don't know. And the problem is that suicide is so stigmatized that nobody is talking about it. So when I was creating this video last Monday, I was on a hike and I was talking about, if this content is relevant to you, please tune in. And I'm thinking about it now as that picture slid out. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to say. Because most of the time when people find out it's relevant, harm's been done, whether it was death by suicide or an attempt. You don't want to wait until this content is relevant to you. So this is my why. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I hope that you don't wait till this is relevant to you. Hopefully it will never be relevant to you, but it's better to have the tools in your toolkit and to be proactive, to look for conversations that need to happen with your relationships around you. There's the bell. Gotta go.